Hey guys, just a brief overview of what you're about to see in this video. The first 10 minutes are setting up the knife and the clamp, and this is very important because if you don't set up the knife correctly, your sharpening is going to come out poorly. The second 10 minutes is a reprofile of the blade and getting the blade bevel to be at 20.4 degrees for both sides. Then we're going to get onto the sharpening and burr formation. That'll run from minute 20 through about 27. So you got 7 minutes of burr forming. And then polishing and refining the burr is the end of the video. It's from minute 30 to 46. And my last step is to strop the blade with the stone. And that's about a minute right at the end of the video. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope that it's informative, and if you have any comments, please feel free to make them in the comments section. Thanks so much.
Hey guys, from the sharpening bench, today we have a knife made in China. And oddly enough, it says all over it, God bless America. Anyway, knife has some trouble spots right off the word jump, in that the back bit of the knife couldn't be sharpened at all, not even at the factory, because the thumb stud was in the way. It was a press fit thumb stud, which I elected to remove by drilling it out and then knocking it out with a hole punch. I don't have super high hopes for the outcome here. I'm going to sharpen it for my friend who asked me to do it, and in particular I'm going to try to put an edge on the back couple of millimeters of the blade there. Once again, I took the thumb stud out because it was in the way. This is likely to be, in the best case scenario, a 440C kind of steel. Worst case scenario, mystery metal. Anyway, so let's have some fun with it, and I'm going to set it up in the clamp. Okay guys, now we're going to talk about setting the knife up in the clamp. First thing I did prior to putting the clamp was I wiped it off with an alcohol swab to clean off all the grit and oil from the making of the knife. Then I took my little plastic ruler and I measured the blade from its ricasso to its tip. It's a little over 8 centimeters, so I put a mark right in the middle there. And then I ran a line parallel from the ricasso to the tip, and what I do is I use that to get the edge straight in terms of that line straight with the beam that holds my clamps. So right across here it's pretty close to dead on. The reason I do that is so that the blade has minimum amounts of flaring at the tip or variation in its the bevel size due to the distance from the pivot to the knife blade. If I'm going to have a problem, I choose to do a better job with the tip and the belly as opposed to the ricasso, which is not really the cutting part of the knife. Next step is I'm going to mark the edge. I like to use either blue, yellow, or red. And I like to use the Milwaukee Inksol style marker because it stays well on the metal. What you want to do is take the shoulder of the marker and rest it on the knife and tilt it forward, so that when you're marking it, you're just marking where the shoulder of the bevel and the primary bevel meet. So you're trying to just mark the edge, which this is kind of the best way to do it. As you can see, the blue is somewhat transparent, whereas if I mark it with black, it's not as easy to see where the shoulder of the secondary bevel and the primary bevel meet. That's a good line. Now I'm going to flip it over. And if you look right here, you can see that the heel has not been touched as far as the sharpening process. So when I come back to here, there's nothing. And it's kind of a very thin edge too. It's pretty obvious that it's not even. The good news being that this is going to be a softer steel, and I should be able to make it cut pretty quickly. I'm going to use this side as the side to which I will angle the edge. I'm going to use it as my good side, if you will. This is a 240 grit stone. Putting a little bit of soapy water on there. There's only one drop of dish soap in there. And what I'm going to do is see how close to the angle is. Then what you do is you loosen up the knob back here, which is a set screw. Then I've got a knob that will adjust the angle of the blade. Looking at it, it's probably somewhere around there. It's looking about right. I'm going to lock it down for the time being. By a show of hands, how many people would like to know the angle? That's everybody, huh? This is my angle cube. You zero it out to the table up top. And then you put it on here. So it's at 17.5 degrees. Which is in the ballpark of, well actually, if you put it there, it's 20. 20.4, which is in the ballpark of what most makers of lower end knives will tend to do. So let's see what we got here. Now I'm just going to check the whole length of this side. And I'm not really going to get to a burr, I'm just seeing that I like my angle. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to flip her over, pull in the lever in the back of the knife thing, sharpener, flip it over. I'm going to get a little of the metal off of there. Let's see how we're doing here. Alright. Now what I can tell you is I'm hitting the back of the bevel but not the edge. I'm going to grind down to it, which means I'm going to be hitting the shoulder on my way down. And I'm going to start on this side, which is what I do when I have a side I want to correct.
Okay, so this picture shows that the bevel is uneven. On the left side I have 20.4 degrees, and on the right side of the blade I have 23 or more degrees. So it's an asymmetrical bevel that we're dealing with. And part of that is because the thumb stud, which is sitting on the table there, was in the way, even for the guy in the factory who was using a grinder to make the bevel of the knife. So if you look at the back 3 millimeters near the ricasso, or the handle end, it's unsharpened altogether. And then so when I'm grinding away, as illustrated by the little red squiggly line, I'm taking the shoulder down and I'm going to make it symmetrically 20.4 degrees per side. And what I do is I start with the side that I'm going to have to remove material on, and I get it in the ballpark of 20.4 degrees. And now it's a starting point at which I can begin to sharpen. But until I clean that part up, the blade is a mess. And I pulled the thumb stud up out of this thing altogether because you just can't sharpen the knife based on where it's positioned. It is a flipper, so you don't need the thumb stud. And quite frankly, you can grab the blade by the blade to open it if you wanted to. So I got rid of the thumb stud and proceeded to reprofile the blade. The setup and the deciding what to do is an important thing, especially on the first time that you're going to sharpen a blade. And unfortunately, it takes a little bit of thinking and planning to figure what you're going to do. It's just part of the game when you get a new knife. And all of your makers have some quality control issues occasionally, not just the low end, which is what this is. If you've got questions regarding profiling or any other issues related to figuring things out, put it in the comments. The other thing is, do I need to know that it's 20.4 degrees? The answer is I don't. All right, I can pick a side that I like better, mark it with the Sharpie, and adjust my sharpener to hit that angle, factory angle. And then I repair it on the other side using the same Sharpie. Matter that I know what the angle is? No. In the beginning of my sharpening career, I thought it was real important to know. The key is if you apex the edge and you get your burr and you then refine that burr with the other grits, the blade's going to be smoking sharp. The other thing is you could leave it uncorrected. You could just apex the blade just the way it is, leave it asymmetrical. I even it up on both sides so the next time I sharpen this, the blade is starting out from a point of good to go. And also I'm meticulous and I tend to like to make things the way they should have been. This is a fair bit of work for a sub $30 knife. But how you do anything, in my opinion, is how you do everything. So even a cheap knife, I treat it the way I would, a $200 Spyderco, in that I handle them with care and I make sure I get it done well. Anyway, so we'll continue with the video in progress.
So I've got correction at the back of the blade, and then I've got to get the whole blade in the right angle. Let me see what we got here. And I'm probably going to go with more aggressive stone. This is a 150 grit. If I weren't reprofiling, I'd probably stay with the 240. But I don't want to make this too long a video. So 7 minutes in, and now we're on to our profiling portion. First thing I'm doing is I'm sharpening the heel of the knife, the ricasso. Can you see how that is starting to sharpen? Good news is this is kind of a soft steel, so it's not going to take me all day. In fact, I'm almost there. Bad news is when my buddy uses this knife, it's going to not hold the edge for very long. I should have a burr in no time. You can see I'm cutting across at a diagonal, and that's to maintain the belly and the natural curve of the blade. If I'm going just straight in a line, I'm going to end up putting a flat spot into it. At the tip, I kind of have no choice, although I'm going to try to maintain that belly by coming across. It's amazing how quickly this metal is cutting. all that metal. This is just, you know, 2 minutes of grinding. Hardly anything at all. Now, I don't have a burr yet, but I am making progress in terms of widening that bevel and getting the shoulder to show up. You know, it might be I need to start demoing how to sharpen with cheap knives. I keep sharpening super steels and they take forever to get the reprofile done. Anyway, look at that thing go. Wow. That's 11 minutes in, and a lot of the corrections are already done, as you can see. Now, no burr, which just tells you how far off this edge was. I'm gonna mark it real quick one more time just to see how I'm doing. Most of this blue water disappeared just about right away, which tells me I'm on my way to having my burr. And I might flip it over just to make sure I don't make an uneven bevel. That's looking real good. doing here? Really nothing. Oh, shoot. Let's see what we got on the other side. Quite a bit of shmoo. Shmoo is the technical term for crap that's all over the place. I don't really need my center line mark anymore. I am going to see how I'm doing with the marker though. You can see how it's kind of thin here, and the edge is not totally symmetrical. I'm going to sharpen on this side till I get a burr. Feels kind of crunchy, like I got some. Feels kind of crunchy, like I got some metal stuck in here. To keep the grit under control. I'm starting to get a burr up at the front, which is good news. 18 minutes in, including reprofiling, which is awesome. If you're wondering, I'm really going to town on this thing. I'm trying to expedite my time. Now, subsequent sharpenings would be a lot less time because the blade is squared away. Yep, I just about have a burr. I'm going to make sure. 19 minutes in, reprofiling is done. I like the burr at the front. It's just a little slight at the back. So I can do. There, we're good. All right. So, next step is flip her over. What I like to do is cut into the blade or do a trail leading, edge leading stroke. And I'm literally just slicing that burr right off. I want to get all that crunchy stuff off here. So 21 minutes in and the burr is removed. Now we got to get a burr on the other side, which I don't think is going to take that long because it's been mostly corrected. This first stone and part of the process that we're doing here is the most important. Oddly enough, I feel it at the back first. We're just about there, 23 minutes in. That's including a reprofile. So sharpening on this one won't take but a minute. Of course, you're going to be doing it twice a week. Anyway. You see how quick that's putting a slurry on there. And we're good. Alright, so now I'm going to remove the burr from this side. And you hear that crunchiness? So 25 minutes for the sharpening portion, including reprofile. Taking the burr off with this stone so as to not have to deal with the shaving so much. Sometimes bits of the burr just fold over. Giving it one more pass to try to get them all off of there. Now if I quit right here, this is in way, way sharper shape than the condition I got it in. Plus we're sharp all the way back to the ricasso. But anyway, we're going to do my usual thing, which is to get it to a mirror. It'll make my friend feel special, which she is. All important. Alright, so that was my 150 stone. Now we're moving on to 400. And this is really a polishing portion of what we're doing. And this should go fairly quickly because this is not a tough metal. You hear how nice and smooth that sounds? These are resin, diamond resin stones. So the abrasive is buried in this resin that kind of holds it all together. And what you end up with is a super consistent, fast cutting stone. They last a very long time. I've had these, I want to say a couple years now. And I sharpen a lot of blades. Look at that beautiful thing. Anyway, I can feel the stone gliding and getting smoother on that edge as I take those scratch marks out of there. Look at all the fine particles on there. It's going to be a pretty blade when we're done. Alright. Here it sounds a little more gritty. and then as I go it gets quieter. Keep my finger under the tip to avoid rolling it. Get a sound changing. Now, a lot of this is just cosmetic. Let's see. Now we're moving on to 800 grit. These are the Orion series of stones by Gritomatic. There's a thing of beauty right here. Now with a super steel, you'd be here another 4 times as long. I had a Rex 45 blade the other night. It took me something like 2 hours to do. It was a reprofile and it had a damaged tip. And I would suggest that that steel was probably a 65 or better Rockwell. It took absolutely forever to profile it and get a burr. Now we're getting closer and closer. We're edging up on a mirror. Very nice looking. Nicest looking sub $50 knife ever. I'm being kind about the price. It's probably sub 30 where he got ripped off. Anyway, this I think you got it at Ace Hardware. And I like to support our local folk, so I don't mind sharpening knives that come from there. I don't buy them. Anyway. Got a little bit of a conundrum. Ace Hardware will sharpen my lawnmower blades for $6 a whack. I have a work sharp with the blade grinding attachment. Do I do that, or do I do more video? I think I'm going to be spending $6 to get my mower blades done. I'll focus on the stuff I like to do. Things I do for you folk out in YouTube land. So I get the big bucks here. It would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Hit the button twice if you didn't like it. Hee hee. If you've got questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the comments section. Look at that blade. I'd like to tell you this is all me, but having the right machinery and the right abrasive definitely helps. This is the Blitz 360 with the Pro upgrade. I highly recommend it to anyone. If you're buying a Blitz brand new, buy it configured like with the clamp I have on here. Alright, now we're moving on to 1200. And then we got one more to do and we'll be done. It looks damn near a mirror already. This is definitely a steel that likes to show off. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm starting to think it's just that I don't spend enough time when I'm doing super steels like Maximate and X45. But they are so hard to cut. Might have to do a second sharpening to see if without the profiling part and the tip repair, how long does it take to do just a normal sharpening. Problem being, it's going to take me forever to dull the blade. And I have a conga line of beautiful blades to carry every day, so and I might have to send it down to Outpost 76 for testing so that he can put a beat down on my edges. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if I should send some Rex 45. And I got 2 para 3s in Maximate, and I'm thinking of sending them down to Gerald for a beat down to see what the Rockwell is and how long they'll hold up. Look at that. Ooh, man, it's like pretty. Mamma mia, look at that. That is a pretty edge. This is absolutely stunning. What do you think, boys and girls? Last but not least, the 1500, and we are under 40 minutes, which is nice given how nice the blade came out. Now the way I do the last stone is I end with a stropping kind of motion. I'm going to do edge trailing strokes. Look. So we're going to do normal. These are 100% concentration, so they have more abrasive than some of the other levels I've done. I'm going to see if I can get the lower concentration stones from Constantine. I think it'll make the finish maybe a little finer. Alright, so that was the last of the polishing. And now I'm just going to do a little stropping real quick. And we'll call it good. See all that metal there? Super fine. So these are edge trailing strokes. It's just the weight of the carrier. Now we're going to flip her over. Wish I had one of them edge testing devices. This would be a pretty low number. I'd say below 50. And there we are, 41 minutes, 58 seconds. Ding ding, from crappy, asymmetrical, not all the way sharpened, to mirror. Woohoo! Nice, huh? Alrighty guys, hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making the video for you. Please like and subscribe. If you've got any video ideas or things you'd like to see me sharpen, let me know. Maybe you have a knife that's got a bit of damage. Make a comment in the comments and maybe I can repair it and make a video for you. Anyway, thanks again and we'll see you soon. Bye.